All right, Wayne Bettis here, the founder of the Off the Tools podcast. I just want to introduce you to our brand new sponsor, directplumbing.supplies.com. It is founded by a former tradesman who has set up his own plumbing and heating merchants. He has an online shop, which is obviously at directplumbing.supplies.com, and he delivers across the UK. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of the show.
You are now listening to Off the Tools with the one and only Wayne Bettis.
If you're passionate and driven and focused in what you do, people will take notice. You can achieve anything you want to achieve in life.
The excuses are not valid.
There we go. That was a very different intro. A little bit different to Rocky Balboa.
That was the intro. Welcome to another exciting, action-packed, full of adventure, fun, and frolicking Wayne's World Wednesdays. And it's 9th of December, 2020, almost to be 2021. I am Francis. Carolina's taking your questions here with a hat. And in the hot seat, once again, is our founder, our leader, the main man himself, Wayne. No excuses. Let's go, Bettis.
There we are. Hello, hello, hello.
An action-packed session today. Oh, we'd have to apologize. We have to apologize. Would you like to say a few words about skiving last week? Gotcha, didn't I?
Yeah, so, yeah. I'm trying to live by the hat, right? I'm trying to live by the phrase, and there is no getting away from it. I just didn't fancy doing it without you, Francis, and you, Carolina, supporting me. So I felt that I would be doing it a disservice without it being set up properly and without you two involved, because you've been on every one. And I didn't want to do one without you.
I actually didn't expect that. That was really cool. That's really nice.
I think on my feet. I work best under pressure.
The thing is, we have to roll with the punches because, like life, things can get in the way of getting things done. And so I thought it was actually cool that you shared a really cool episode of your webcast. Do you want to talk a little bit about that episode of your webcast? A few takeaways?
Yeah. Oh,
sorry,
wow. Podcast. Yeah. So if you haven't listened to it, search Off the Tools on any podcast provider. I'm pretty much across the board. But we had the legend that I've nicknamed Uncle Ray. So that's Ray Stafford. He's the MD of Williams and Co. But the guy is just like a fountain of knowledge and experience and expertise. And he spends a lot of time. Bear in mind, he's a managing director of like a multi-million-pound business. He spends a lot of time, he doesn't really post anything himself, but he will come into a post and post his a bit like Yoda. He just puts that sort of expertise into what he does. And yeah, if you've listened to the show, you'll understand the uncle joke, because I wanted it to become a bit of a nickname for him, because he's just like a really good uncle to everyone on the group, just offers a bit of advice, a bit of guidance. We talk about loads of stuff. So yeah, I'll definitely go check it out if you haven't already listened to it. It's about an hour's long, so you can just stick it on while you're driving to the job or whatever you might be doing.
And speaking of podcasts,
on that note, I've got about 6 pre-recorded episodes that are going to be coming out between now and sort of first couple of weeks of January. So we've got an action-packed schedule for the podcast. So make sure that you subscribe, make sure that you leave us a review as well, because that helps with the rankings and gets the show out there, basically. So that's the last plug, I promise.
Yeah, no, it's plug away. Like, this is your space, man. This is your space. This is, in fact, not only is it your community or your inspired community, but it is your Wednesday.
Yeah, true.
It
Yeah.
is your Wednesday, and so you
It's a little bit
plug what you want.
narcissistic, isn't it? Calling the show Wayne's mine, but hey ho, do you know, if you can't be comfortable with who you are and be proud of that, then sod it, sod everyone else.
And what's up on your what's coming next on your podcast? Who have you got?
So we've got Bex, who's normally on the show, who's normally on here. So she's a virtual assistant, and she offers again a lot of information from the other side of the fence, if that makes sense. So obviously she's not a customer, but she's not a trained engineer, so she sort of sits in it with a different perspective. So that's very good. I've got a great guest called Winston. Winston is fantastic. He's had some very, very troubling past and come through it and sort of developed into a good, solid businessman, father. He has community stuff that he is heavily involved in, and Fathers for Justice stuff that he works on. We've got a friend of mine called Gavin, who is a fitness expert, which I'm gonna get that one out sort of probably between Christmas and New Year to try and kickstart people's new year with maybe a bit of a mentality shift. We've got Etan. If Etan's on, we've got a great show with Etan. Who else have we got? There's a couple more, I think. I'm just going to have a quick look. So we've done that. Podcasts to produce. Who else have we got? Gav. Oh, we got Aaron McLeish as well. Aaron's an accountant and also an author of a book that's going to be out very, very soon. So again, it's very good because it's a different perspective. I'm trying to get like not just engineers, not just people that run a business in this industry. I want to try and encapsulate, you know, the whole scenario. If I find a decent enough customer, I might even get a customer's view on. You know, it might be for a little something a bit different. But
I think it's a really interesting angle, you know, because let's face, like, this is all about, you know, business networks. It's not just about trades, is it? Because there's so many satellite industries working with trades that know a lot about trades, help trades, have ideas, strategies, systems, tools, things that can help businesses across the board. And so it's a great thing that you're, you know, shining a light on some interesting people who are doing some interesting things. And some might go on to provide services, some might not, but it's all about being out there and showing people what,
and it's something different. There's no one that I know of that is doing what I do. And I find it valuable as from a personal perspective, you know, speaking with all these different people. And if each podcast could help just one person or give someone one idea or give a bit of support to one person, you know, it's worth it. I do it for the joy of doing it. As you all know, I love the sound of my own voice. So it just seemed like the perfect thing to do. I get to talk, I get to, you know, and so it's good fun. I love it. And if there's anyone that either wants to come on the show or know someone that might be a good guest, you know, just send me a private message on Facebook. And yeah, I'm always looking for new people to come on and discuss things with. So yeah, it'd be great.
That's awesome. Okay, so as usual, we are open to questions. I'm here to facilitate and make sure it's not a random, chaotic free-for-all and give everybody some time. We got a whole bunch of people on the Zoom call, and we're broadcasting live on multiple Off the Tools channels, podcasts, page, Plum Chat. So type your comments in the comments boxes. We're going to do our best to read them. And if you do want to jump on the Zoom call, just jump on. I'll let you in. And shoot questions. Raise your hands. I'm going to try and see you guys going like that sort of thing. And we'll give you some time or put something in the chat. Now, today we've got a theme, okay? So the theme for today's session to kick us off as we're coming to the end of the year is goal setting, what you've got planned. And I know that Wayne's program, his teaching, his basically ethos is all about goal setting and actually achieving and taking action. So I'll let Wayne say a few words about goals. Maybe kick off the conversation, Wayne.
All right, yeah, definitely. So there's a couple of you in here that will have already heard me speak of this, but in essence, I strongly believe in. I don't like the word goals. I use the word target. Just a mentality. I just prefer the word target. So when I reference target, I mean goal. And normally 9 times out of 10, at the beginning of the year, you set yourself some sort of targets, ambitions, whatever it is. And, it quickly dwindles away because maybe it was a little bit too ambitious and a little bit too far ahead for you to actually get your teeth into it. So one of the fundamental things we do on my program that I when I work with blokes one-to-one is it's called the 3 Bs. I'm going to try and hold it up. I don't know. This is one of the workbooks that you get, and I think it's back to front. That's a shame. But basically, in essence, the 3 Bs are business, body. Body is yourself as a person, your mindset, your mentality, your physical sort of appearance, and what you're doing with yourself. And then balance is everything on the other side of that. So your family, your friends, your social life, and I strongly believe that them 3 aspects create a triangle, and the triangle is the strongest structure that you can have as long as there's no weak points in it. So when you're looking to sort of move the needle in one area, you need to be looking in the other areas as well, because if you put all of your focus just on your business, you're probably going to end up unhealthy, fat, or you're going to end up with a pissed off wife, girlfriend, partner, whoever it might be. And vice versa. If you put all your effort into your body and become lean, 6-pack and brute force sort of physique, the chances are that the other 2 areas, business and balance, is going to start to slip because all of your focus is on just that one area. So one of the things that I really try to get across to the people that I work with is that you have to level up all 3. At times, you have to put your focus on one area. If the business is falling to shit, it's going to drive more of your attention to try and save it. Or if it's winter and it's snow outside, business is going to come first because it's the nature of the beast. But fundamentally, you cannot forget about the other parts. And that works in a full triangle, whichever one is needing more attention at that time, you can't forget about the other 2. So when it comes to setting out your targets for the year, that you need to be thinking of all of them 3 areas, and you want to be you might go up a bit in one, but then you want to bring the other one up. You don't want to leave one too, if you start getting too lopsided, that's when you start to get problems. It's when you start to feel overwhelmed because things over here are doing well, so you don't understand why things on the other side aren't going so well. And it's a difficult, it's quite hard to master, because as humans, we get tunnel vision and we want to focus on one thing. And that I guess is probably just human nature, maybe a survival thing. You focus on the thing in front of you and you sort of get on with it. But if you can get in the mindset of thinking of all them areas, the body, the business, and the balance. The reason I called it balance was because I needed another B. I wanted it the 3 Bs, and balance was the best word I could come up with for like the mix of family, friends, and stuff. And then another common thing I get is, I think I referenced it right at the beginning, is you set a target for the year. And normally, most people, like you sign up to a gym, for example, normally by sort of February, the gyms are empty again, and it's just the hardcore regulars in there. It's because people expect to get huge results in very short time frames, and generally speaking, it's not that possible. You might, every now and then, you might hit a home run. You might get something that happens quite quickly, but in general, it takes consistency, dedication, and consistency. I think I've said that already, but and that's what you've got to have that approach with your targets. So what I like to do is I like to set, I always like to look a bit further. So 3-5 years time. I think I showed on the last show, I showed you my vision card. And I reference back to that. And then when I set my 12-month target, I need to make sure that that's aligned with the bigger vision that I have. And then once I nail that, so once I know that 12-year target in the body, business or balance, like, you know, whichever one I'm setting out, I don't just stop there, because if you stop there, you just fall in the trap of being the average Joe. You know, everyone it's easy to set a year target, because it's miles away. And generally speaking, you know, you might drundle your way along and sort of get near it. But what I like to do is I like to break it down even further, to the point that I've got 30, 60 and 90 day targets. So I can get an immediate or as close to immediate results heading in that right direction as quickly as possible. We like to, you know, when your phone bings, you get a notification. I can't remember what chemical it is, but it releases something in your body, and you want to see it. You want to see what it is. It's like the slot machines, you know, that you want to win. So if you feed that habit and you turn that into a positive by giving yourself smaller targets to hit that are leading you along that road to the bigger target, the 12-year, which is then leading you on to the 3 or 5 year, whatever one you want to do, I find that you then become more consistent. So if you set your target to sell 52 boilers a year, for example, you know, break it down. That's one a week. Okay, that's all you have to do is one a week, and you hit that target. And every time you hit that one, you know, have a little celebration, have a little drink, pat yourself on the back, share it in here. You know, this is what Off the Tools was built for, was to become a support network, a growth mindset sort of. I was going to say cesspit. That's not what I mean. It's not a cesspit. It's what would I do with a ton dish of like energy? That's the word I think I was looking for. And for me personally, ever since I learned this sort of strategy from an American guy, not Francis, he has a program called Wake Up Warrior, and Garrett, his name is, and he's a bit of a hardcore, like nutty sort of American bloke. But ever since I've been implementing it, I get results in whatever I set out to do, and that's not a coincidence. You know, it's because I'm determined, I'm focused, and I have a clear plan, strategy of getting there. And I just can't strongly recommend it. And a few of the lads that are on my course, hopefully, are already starting to see the benefits of this. Well, they are, you know, because they're starting to get results. They're starting to move things on in their business and life and stuff. So it's definitely, don't just wake up or be drunk New Year's Eve and set yourself, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. You know, think about it. A year, we only have a certain amount of years on this planet, so every one is valuable. So give it the time it deserves, and set aside a few hours to really think about what you're actually trying to do. Stop going around in circles, you know, and just keep going round and round and round. You actually want to start taking steps in a direction, and that is the key, is to lay it out. It doesn't have to be anything posh, you know. It could just be on a pad, you know. And you literally, all you got to do, start at the top with your 5-year vision, break it down to 12 months, break it down to 60, 90, 60, 30 days. That's all it has to be. And then you just have that on your desk, stick it on your visor in your van. So you're constantly thinking about it. And most importantly, once you start hitting them smaller ones, the snowball starts to form, and it starts to roll and get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I would advise, well, I'm going to challenge you all, anyone that's watching, I want you to have, if you can, you know, and if you're happy to share it or private message me or ring me, whatever, set out what I've just said. So set a 3 or 5 year at the top with 3 Bs: business, body, and balance. And then break each one of them down into a 12-month target. And then again for 90, 60, 30 days, and share it with someone, even if it's not me. If you're happy to share it in the group, fantastic. But if you're not, share it with your partner, share it with a friend. Me and Etan do something regularly every month. We meet up, and it's been really valuable, because we're not only am I around a like-minded person, which is fantastic, because you know, not everyone thinks like us, and so being around someone that has that same mentality is valuable in itself. Again, another reason why we do these is to try and get these people together, so you can sort of all feed off of each other. But basically, in essence, what we do is we set ourselves key targets to achieve. And then at the end of we have a meeting once a month. The first part of the meeting is to assess whether we hit them or not, and then reset for the next month ahead. So if we're thinking of opening that up to a few more people. So if you're interested in that, you could maybe come and join one of them and see if you get on with that. But yeah, that's fundamentally what I do. And I live by that. Every now and then I'm not perfect. So every now and then I'll go off track, but because I believe in the system and I utilize it, I notice these things. I notice it'd be that I haven't hit that target or I come nowhere near it. And then that's the alarm bell that tells me, okay, right, why? What's happening? I need to readjust something. Something's out of kilter. But if you don't look at it and if you don't set them and if you don't measure it, you're never going to know if you're going in the right direction or not. So yeah, there we go. A little challenge for everyone. I think Nathan wants to. Is that Nathan? Are you spinning or oh. Has anyone else got any tips for what they do personally in setting themselves out for the year ahead?
Let me have
Come on, Francis, who are you going to pick?
Yeah, no. So yeah, Bex is waving her hand.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, okay. Bex, ladies first. You want to say a few words?
Exactly.
Hi guys. The accountability thing is the most important for me. I started my business out of necessity. I'm a single parent, so I'm everything. I'm mum, I'm dad, I'm breadwinner, school run extraordinaire, and maker of cakes, aka I buy them and pretend they're mine. But I got my best friend, and every week we will have a powwow where we put the world to rights, even if it's just about life in the universe. But sometimes even within my own business, I'm like, I think I've overthought this. And she's gone, yep, get rid of that, do this. And I do the same for her business. So it's really important to have that person or people that you can be accountable to help keep your goals on track. I think that really works for me.
Okay, Nathan, you want to say, want to unmute yourself?
Unmute. Yep. There you go.
Yeah, I'm done. And just going back to what Wayne said on that, and I can totally 100% agree. And no matter what your business is or what you're feeling, or whether work's coming in or not coming in, but the whole thing of setting the targets, and Wayne and I have spoken about this, and I've been doing a little bit of work tonight, not as much as I should have done, Wayne, so don't tell me off.
Friday, mate, the whip's out Friday, so.
But going down, but when you look at the whole situation or the whole money or what you're doing or what's going on, if you break it down, and I've broken things down into a day, and when you break it down into a day, you actually think, that's not that bad, and I can work on that. All right, maybe not a day, maybe a week, maybe a month or whatever, but especially if you break it down into a day, what's needed, what's the costs, what's going on, what's my expenditure, and you get it down to such finite detail, and you look at it, and it's not scary.
Yep,
it's
and
achievable.
One of the biggest things for me was understanding that I can only do something today, right now. You know, I can't change what's happened, and the only way I can change what's going to happen is by what I do right now.
Yeah.
So having them smaller scale targets means that you can impact it. You know, because it's there in front of you to actually make a difference. And
yeah.
Yeah, I know it's definitely works.
But that breaking it down, which is something I've never done before, but actually, I've got this sheet. I can't use Excels or whatever you do, so I'm just on a piece of paper. But just breaking it down in front of you, and it's your figures in front of you, and it's like, right, that's my day.
Is this the overhead session that we had earlier? Is that what you're breaking down there? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And then all of a sudden, it's kind of like, yeah. So it's not. Just for example, if just going on to what we were talking about, you need to earn 70,000 for your overheads and everything, and get your wage and everything. You break that down, and you break it down into your month. You break it down into your week. You break it down into your day, and then all of a sudden, it seems comprehensible.
Yeah, exactly, and that is exactly why we do it.
Yeah, that's the most important point. It's no good saying, "Oh shit, I need to earn 70 grand next year." Right? Okay, then, and then you get all confused about it and panic and everything. It's that, and it really has been good. It's that breaking it down, right?
Yep.
Your target, as you've said, and everything,
and then consistently going at it to achieve it. You know, because it's one thing breaking it down, but it does take the action then to take that next level, doesn't it? So
yes, but that's where it comes down to the mindset, because so all of a sudden, if you've got a figure of £70,000, you're like, and I'm using that as an example, but you say, "Oh shit, £70,000." If you break that down, and that's £250 a day, actually,
yeah, exactly that.
I can do that.
It's great to hear. I'm great to hear that it's already showed its value to you.
So it's moving that mindset from not from the bigger picture, but from kind of like that, "Oh my God, I need to earn this much in a year," and saying, right, so how much do you earn in a day? And then you look at it and you go, I can do that. And it's a process that I think, I don't know, everybody should be. And just because I've been going through it before we came on, looking at it and going through it and saying, right, okay. And like you said, Wayne, before, and then like you say, sit down on a Saturday morning. What have I done? Right. Okay. Why have I not achieved that? Yep. And then basically, it's manageable sizes.
Yep. Exactly that. I'm so glad. Like, that just proves that you were listening earlier, for starters. So that's fantastic.
Did you enjoy your coffee?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I was very unprofessional, and I'd been stuck in the office. And I said, I got on the Zoom with him in the van. I was like, "Look, I need to go and get a coffee, man. I needed to get out of that office." So we had our conversation while I was driving to get a coffee. Anyone else got anything that they personally do, or got any questions around what we've just spoke about?
Anybody on the Zoom would like to share?
Yep.
Who's that?
Can you wave your hand?
There he is.
Tom, yeah. I can't see if you. Yeah, go on, Tom. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Just to reiterate what Nathan was saying, I had a meeting with Aaron yesterday for about 3.5, 4 hours. Pretty much on that, just going through our break-even point, so we knew exactly where we needed to start in terms of pricing and forecasting for next year, because it's all very well and good being busy, but if you're not charging the right amount of money, you're just, you're not getting anywhere, basically. So, but one thing I never really appreciated was I was trying to find a break-even point across the board, and he said, "Well, no, obviously your jobbing maintenance guys aren't getting as many hours in as your guys on site." So once he explained it to me, and I realized that the cost difference is crazy. It's something like, for my guys on site, it cost me about £34 an hour. For my guys on the road, it's about £45 an hour. But now I know that I can now budget and price everything going forward and set targets. I know how much my day rate should be now. Whereas before,
that is so panicking. Important, because it's so many people don't. And again, like, I've done it with 3 people this week. Nathan was today, where we basically got them to the point of the break-even point, that what it costs to exist, basically just to exist. And only at that point can you then start to look at, right, well, what sort of profit margins am I looking at? Where do I want to go? And it can also you can also use it for your advantage as well, because when you know the figure, you can also be a bit aggressive sometimes on the pricing. So because you know what your figure is, you might be able to take something on at maybe what would look like a lesser rate, but as long as you're still hitting the figures that you need for them days or whatever it is, so knowing the figure just gives you the option to monitor it and check that you're doing it, but it just it gives you so many different things that you can then do.
If you hit a target near the end of the year, November time, and then a job comes along which is fairly easy, but it's easy and they want an easy price because they know it's easy, you can say, right, yeah, we can do that for close to our break-even point because we've hit the targets for the year.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've just been messing about all year, it doesn't work like that. But
and it's fundamentally how the big companies work, because they work on volume. Obviously, our smaller guys, the volume obviously isn't as big as the volume of someone like Boxed, for example. They can run on a hell of a lot less per boiler than someone like myself can run, because they're getting thousands and thousands of boilers, so they only have to make a smaller amount on each one. And
exactly.
so depending on what opportunities come up, if an opportunity for 20 flats come up and you know your break-even point and you know what profit margins you want to be aiming for, you can price it to sort of win the work, but not mess up the figures and not ruin where you're actually trying to get to.
Yeah, don't cut your throat. Exactly. Yeah. But you need someone to tell you. Because I wasn't factoring in like training. Last year we spent $4,000 on training, and he put that in there and other things, and all of a sudden you're like, hang on a minute, it's cost a lot, But it probably really narrowed my mind then to make me think, right, this all makes sense now. So when it comes to pricing things going forward, I know where I stand, and I can stand firm. If someone says to me, "Oh, the guy down the road," go and get the guy down the road then. But then when you're comparing the guy down the road, he might have 2 staff and I've got 7 staff, so that's where the difference is. But I would recommend to anybody to have a chat with Aaron, because his analytics and how precise he was with the figures and the numbers, and just being brutally honest as well. Just saying, listen, if you carry on the way you're doing, you're not going to exist in a certain amount of time, and sometimes you need to be told that.
Yeah, definitely. Go on, Nathan.
Speak to Aaron.
This is something that hopefully not today, but could come into the future, and I suppose this all comes down to areas where you live and what people are willing to pay. But hopefully we'll discuss it further. But it is that kind of like point of view. That point of 3 engineers go and price a boiler change, and you're that 200, 300, and say, for example, it's the exact same boiler. So it could be a Worcester Bosch for you, and it could be a Visor and for me. But there's that point where I'm that slightly more expensive, and it's all about that upselling. We've touched upon it, and kind of like the text messaging, we're keeping in contact and we're doing, but it's, I don't know, could we have a session on that at some point?
Lead Hero is the UK's #1 marketing automation platform for ambitious trades businesses looking to save time, make more money, and level up. Because just getting leads is not enough anymore. Lead Hero will help you triple your sales and maximize profits with our job flow acceleration system. Visit leadhero.ai to learn more.
Because you're needing to put yourself, if you're that slightly more expensive person, you need to be able to kind of like offer that 5-star service or something different.
Yeah, we can definitely talk more about that. I think our lead management masterclass that we're putting on is going to cover some of that as well. So if you haven't signed up to that, I haven't got the link to hand, but I'm sure we'll distribute it between everyone that's in here anyway. That basically is going to be going into depth about the customer journey, and that's when they're on that journey with you, that's when you can start to get across why are you so much more, or sorry, that's the wrong word. Why are you more expensive in their eyes? And it's justify it by exceeding expectations at every level of that journey as they're coming through. And then price becomes less and less relevant. I think we've said it before, you know, I don't ever want to be able to be compared apples for apples, because if they feel that it's two identical quotes and two identical companies, price is going to win. So I do everything possible to make myself a pineapple, so it's not the same product. Yeah. So they can't easily compare it on a price factor, because of everything I've done along that customer journey and before they've even reached me. There's work like with my reviews, the vans, you know, the reputation that I've got, and all of that all comes in to building it effectively like a bubble, I suppose is one way to think of it, around us that stop us being able to be compared with. But it's a huge subject. But we can definitely go over some more bits on that. Definitely.
And would anyone on the call like to add a few things? I'll open up to the floor. Russ, go on, unmute yourself. Welcome to Wayne's World Wednesdays. Nice to hear.
Hello.
Hello, guys. I'm not from this industry. I'm from a fitness franchise industry. And I just thought it's quite kind of relevant. It's quite interesting what you're talking about there about customer service, because my set of gyms, I own a cluster of gyms, and we are typically more expensive than other competitors in our area. So if it's price for price, you go to a Pure Gym or a Gym Group, you're always going to find someone who's cheaper than us. We are never going to be the cheapest operator in the area. So we're customer service, we're customer journey. I've been doing this for about 15 years in that business. I own some other businesses, and it's all about aftercare for us. So a member can join us, but it's what do we do after they've joined us? How do we keep that member? What's the phone call that we do after that? How did you find your first experience with us? I guess in this, and again, forgive me if I'm saying something really simplistic, but how was your boiler? How is it working a week later? Do you put a phone call in? Do you build that rapport? Because when they then have this issue down the line with X amount, maybe they'll think, Etan was fantastic. He put that phone call in a week later. He stayed in contact with me. I built the rapport. That's worth value. That's in our industry. That's where we can charge the difference. And it's that experience and that customer service. That's the big differentiator for us. So it just felt like it was very relevant to what you guys are talking about.
I would 100% agree with exactly what you've just said, as in it's, by the sounds of it, you obviously would have mapped out a journey that customer goes on and integrated things, points of contact where you can excel, you can deliver better than the competitors around you, and that's what stands you out. And it's I think it's the same in all industries, really, isn't it? I don't think it's just unique to fitness. I don't think it's unique to boilers. I think it's just the way that, like, it's a way to stand out and give yourself headroom above everybody else that's around you. Thank you.
I think people just go in my mind, they get a customer, they get the money in, and then they're like, right, on to the next customer. Yeah. Instead of thinking, well, for a start, referrals. It was interesting on one of your calls a couple of weeks ago, we're talking about referrals. We're huge on referrals. That's a massive part to us. So we get a customer, we keep that customer, we build on them. It's that journey, all those touch points. And, that's how we build our customer base. Referrals, by the way, are an absolutely huge part of our business. So I would imagine, they could be in this industry as well. But we're very much, as soon as we've got a customer, the worst thing you can do is think, right, we've signed them up, let's go on to the next member. It's like, how can we keep them? How can we keep this customer for years and not months? And then our cost of acquisition is going to be lower going forwards. We're not going to have to keep on marketing because we have built a customer base. So
yeah, agree. And that comes to understanding lifetime value, doesn't it, of that? Yeah. You'll know how much potentially the average lifetime value of that client is, and it makes you work harder once you understand that, doesn't it? Because you see that bigger value that customer brings to the business. So you have to sort of earn that, don't you, to keep them in, and especially if referrals is a big part as well, then it's doubly more important, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Bex, you want to say a few things?
Yeah, hi. I was just going to say, like, on the price, in the virtual assistant industry, it's there all the time that I get compared a lot to people who charge like £10 an hour. And I find that I have to justify why many other VAs wouldn't charge just £10 an hour. It's about the value for money that we're giving. But you guys have all touched on it. In every industry, you've got your overheads. I've got insurance that I've got to pay. I've got to pay for the software that I use to do the job. It's my experience for over 5 years worth of honing processes to get jobs done. And actually the cheapest isn't always going to be the best. So it's finding what sets you apart from your competition and everybody else. And it's like a bottle of wine. You've got 3 bottles of wine. Most people go for the middle one, regardless of what it is, because that's the best value for money. It's not too expensive. It's also not the cheapest. So it's usually going to be the best value for the money.
I'd agree. Yeah. And Aaron's book that's coming out soon goes into the 3 sort of types of customers. I won't go into it too much, but I think the stats show that 70% of people on average will go for that middle range. I suppose it's a bit of safety, isn't it? It's not high, it's not low, it's sort of in the middle. So yeah, I would agree there.
We actually, something that we do in our sales process here at Lead Hero is actually we show a bell curve. Okay, and actually we do this in a presentation where we write it out, and we show a bell curve from left to right. And on the left of the bell curve is basically your red zone, and it's where you get the cheapest possible service that money can buy. Okay, and it's what a lot of people in that red struggling zone are trying to do because they're just looking for the cheapest product they can. Right, it's a red zone, and the effect of the red zone is that you basically you're paying for marketing, but it doesn't work, or you pay for a solution, it's just shit. But you paid for it, and then you're burned, and you have bad feelings, that no transformation. Then you have this amber zone, which is a bit bigger, and in the amber zone you pay a bit more, okay, and it's average pricing. And in the amber zone, you actually get a solution that is just about average. Like, it's okay. It's not great. It's not the worst. But the thing is, it's not competitive because it just does the same as 99% of other people out there. So it's just basically, it's okay. It doesn't change your life. It doesn't really make an impact. You haven't blown all your money completely. It's just bog standard. Then you have the light green zone. And in the light green zone, you start to get marketing that starts to work, okay, and it's a happy place, but it's more expensive. Let's say let's put it like 3 stars, okay, or three pound signs in terms of expense there. But you're actually starting to get results, and with those results make an impact on your business, they make an impact on your life, and you see things around you are starting to shift. But the thing is, then there's another zone as well, and not a lot of businesses or people are there. It's like a super green zone. It's the winning zone. It's on the right-hand side of the bell curve at the bottom, okay? And the thing is that this is transformational results. This is the best product. It's innovation. It's winning. It's market domination. When you're in that green zone, actually people are following you, wondering the hell what you're doing. They're copying your products and services. They're copying your strategy, and they're just trying to keep up with you. Okay, and I would say that the cost of being in that dark green zone is actually, there's no cost to it. It's priceless. Because everything changes around that when you actually have a service where it's very difficult to compete with you. You're leading the way, you're innovating in your marketing, you're innovating in your product development, in your strategies, how in your product market fit. And essentially then what we ask our customer is like, so what type of service do you want? Do you want the stuff in the red zone, which is the cheapest possible thing that achieves no results? Do you want the average stuff that you pay for, but it's just merely okay? Do you want the 3 out of 4 solution that it's more expensive than average and it's good? Or do you want the priceless stuff? And people are saying like, well, actually, I would really like the priceless stuff. And what we aim to do is actually give you the priceless transformation for about the cost of the light green zone, the 3 out of 4, that sort of thing. So people can, you see, the thing is, until you actually see the spectrum of services and you present value in a narrative, people don't understand. And I think like this model, I share it because it's the same for any business. You can put that model into your trades business right now and be thinking about what you're doing. It's called marginal utility in business, marginal utility. It's that extra that you do that is differentiated from your competitors, but not just differentiated, it adds value. So it can be price, but it can be better service, faster service, better product, customer care, whatever that may is. But if you have that marginal utility that your competitor does not, the customer will be forced to buy from you because the customer is just looking for as much value as possible there. So just something to think about, even in your local businesses. It's like, what can I pack on to what I do that perhaps to me doesn't cost that much, but actually is a lot more value to my customer? And it could be things like service. It could be like just care and attention. Anyway, I thought I'd share my own 2 pennies worth of that little story.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. There's to dumb it down a little bit. There's a great meme. Is it meme? I say meme, but my kids always tell me off. So whatever it is, meme, I don't know, of like a plumber t-shirt, and it's like, I can't remember exactly, but it's like cheap and fast equals, and it lists these basically, basically the 3 levels that you just said. And it's quite a funny like t-shirt. I'll have to try and find the image of it and share it. In essence, it's what you just said. You can't have the cheapest product and the best service because it's just not going to work, and you can't have the fastest service and be the cheapest because it doesn't equate. The universe doesn't let it happen.
No. It's that, exactly. Biologically and universally impossible.
Yes.
To do it. And I wanted to comment on something that you were talking about, Wayne, before. I call it structural ontological coupling, but you call it hanging around with people, the impact of hanging around with the right people. And I love that because last year I studied biology, and there's a phenomenon in life. This is a bit geeky. I'm a bit of a geek, but I want to share it because once you know, you're going to see it everywhere. In life, humanity, even non-humans, rocks, mountains, the environment, take on the attributes of the environment around them. It's called biological, structural, ontological coupling. Okay, so if you're thrown into the wilderness or you're thrown into the desert, over time you're going to develop and change into the habitat that helps you survive.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's with non-humans and humans. And we can't get away from it. There is no possible, you can't wish it away. You can't do meditation and just think, you can't wait. So your environment where you are, your house, your city, your culture, your parenting, what you watch on TV, the people that you hang out with, all of that stuff contributes to what you believe, and also what you do every day. And it's biologically impossible to do new things in your life and to achieve new things in your business doing the things that you've been doing in the past that got you where you are today.
I shared a post, didn't I, yesterday? I don't know if you saw it, but mirrored that.
Yeah,
and it's so true.
Tell us a little bit more about that. I'd love to hear your perspective.
Well, yeah, no, it's certainly true. I think it was Albert Einstein, wasn't it, that like said something along the lines of that if you do the same things and expect different results, then it's a sign of insanity. I totally butchered the quote, but in essence, like that was the message. And and referencing Russ's industry of fitness, you know, everyone knows you are what you eat. If you sit and eat 10 Big Macs, you know, you're gonna feel like crap and look like crap.
Yeah.
But you are what you think, just as importantly. Do you know, if you're thinking bad and negative and downbeat, then what you portray out is going to reflect that. And then to go one step further, you are, I believe, I don't know how true it is, but based on what you just said, I'm guessing it is scientifically proven, but they reckon you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And based on that biological explanation that Francis just said, that makes sense, doesn't it? That who you're around and who you're with for the most amount of the time that you have, you're going to start reflecting that the average of that. And I've seen the benefits of not necessarily changing my circle, but just growing into a new sort of. When I was going kickboxing regularly, what did all I think about? What did I do? I got fit. I lost weight. I become a brown belt kickboxer because I was surrounded by people that were doing the same thing as me. Mm-hmm. You know, it's basic but true, isn't it? Yeah, definitely.
It is true, and the fact that it's scientific and we can't help. You know, a lot of people think it's fluff and that's just a saying, right? It's just it's just something people say, and I got me mates and I got my Netflix and all of that stuff. But the reality is that, you know, if you are a successful entrepreneur and you're managing a 6-7 figure business, most likely, you know, just your worldview is going to be such that actually you have different concerns in life, the concerns of maintaining your body, because you have to wake up every morning and you have responsibilities and you have staff and you have teams and you have money coming in and money coming out. It's not congruent. And so I think the fastest way to build a successful business is to hang around other people who are managing and leading successful businesses. Yeah, go.
On that note, right, before I started Off the Tools, I believed this, and it was again, I didn't know it was biologically proven. I learned it from the Wake Up Warrior stuff that I did. But what I did, the first thing I did was I created a WhatsApp group, and we let 15 men that I like critiqued to make sure that they were on the same wavelength as me. And that was like the beta test of what is now Off the Tools and everything else that I do. It was like the very early stages, as I wanted to sort of prove the concept of being surrounded by people with more ambition and more drive and sort of more positivity and everything. And literally ever since then, I've just surrounded myself with more of them people and sort of pushed and pushed and pushed. And then, go on, Bex. Oh, was she just flicking her pencil? Is Nathan flicking his pencil as well now? Am I just getting tricked here?
We're all going to start.
Is everyone just going to start picking up a pencil? And
I just want to add on, and I don't know if this is kind of like a slight contradiction, but is there in that case that there is a certain mindset in people who are born, raised, grown up in poverty, whatever, all the odds against them, but then there is also another mindset that they say to themselves, I am going to beat this.
Yeah, you have the decision. Every single person has the decision on what they think and what they do. to a degree. Obviously, I that's a bit broad, but you know, like you can have two people that come out of exactly the same estate, and one will be in that estate for the whole of their life, and one will go on to be a multi-millionaire, jet setting around the world. They come from the same environment, but one took the decision and took the action to change something. Didn't expect it just to be given to them.
But then I don't know if this is going off into kind of like Saturn up in the sky, but then is there something in us physically or mentally that our brain is actually programmed that somebody says, well, this is it, or there's somebody whose brain is, I can do it, I can get out of it?
I would say it's human nature to fit in. So as humans, we want to fit into the tribe. I think it's an animalistic instinct of us.
Structural ontological coupling again.
Yeah.
We can't help it.
Yeah. And there's when you as a human, safety used to be in a tribe, in numbers. Yeah. So yeah, again, I can't say the word he says. I don't know what it is. He said it 3 times, and I still haven't got him right. I think it's that dodgy American accent, but you know.
I'm getting the dictionary out.
Okay, I'm gonna put it here in the chat because I absolutely love it. No, sorry.
But yes, but what you were saying there, Nathan, is fundamentally, unless you decide to change, then yes, you will just end up in that bubble. And for a lot of people, they never see life any other way. So they're probably not even aware that there's different ways of doing things, different ways of thinking. And that's why sort of like learning, reading, you know, just the importance of reading and now obviously with audio and Audible and all that, you can listen to stuff that 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you just couldn't have been exposed to. So we're in a generation where I believe that we're like the first people of information that can actually use the information. Does that make sense? Like en masse, I mean, because 30 years ago, if you wanted a book, you had to go to the library. That took action or a membership or money or whatever. Now, do you know what in England, 98% of people must have the internet in England. They must do, you know? So even people in in like first world poverty in our country will have some access to the internet, whether that through school and people have access to that knowledge now. So I think our generation, as we develop over the next 20, 30 years, you're going to see a big social shift in lots of different ways. I can't really explain it. Of what I mean. I haven't got the words for it, but
the awakening of humanity.
In a way, yes. I think there's going to be big segments of like people awakening to new methods, new philosophies, new information. Definitely. Yeah.
I hope so. The problem.
Yeah, hello, Wayne.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
You're coming out. So you're gonna have no.
Right. Is there anything else that anyone wants to discuss? Have you got a question?
Etan, is that Etan? No, he's saying no, not me.
No, he's been to the gym,
Kieran,
had his beer, eaten his food.
Yeah, I'm good. It's my first time on here.
Excellent. You are very, very welcome, my friend. You're very welcome.
I did come on last week, but Wayne never turned up. I set up the office and drove about 20 minutes here, and then I read the message from Wayne.
Oh, man, you made me feel so guilty now. Sorry.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but every once in a while, I'll just when we get uncomfortable silences, I'll just pick someone out and go, "Hey, how you doing? Introduce yourself."
See, yeah, just on another note, Kieran is, I don't know him well, but we've exchanged messages probably over the last 2 years, I guess. And he's involved in some exciting things. So if you want to talk about any of that now, mate, feel free. Well, we've only got literally a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
but,
just a couple of minutes.
Just give us a bit of intro even to who you are and what you're about, because you're certainly a different thinker, if that makes sense, and you're willing to try things, which is fantastic. So yeah, share it a bit.
Yeah, so I'm a gas registered engineer, but I've sort of branched out a little bit. So I've been sort of doing web design for probably the last 5 years. And then recently I've come up with, I don't know if you can see that there. These are these review cards I've made. So if you collect reviews, it's the bloody background, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It kills it. Here we go. So can you see that card?
Yeah, perfect.
When you tap it on the back of your phone, it's
fantastic. I've got it.
Have you been using it at all, Wayne?
I've not used the cards. I've been using the links.
Yes, yeah. And then every time, I don't know if you noticed, Wayne, but every time that link loads up, the order changes as well of the reviews. So it sort of makes it really easy to collect reviews. But once you start using the cards, let me know what you think of them.
That's cool.
Yeah, I will. I'm just gonna put the link in the chat so people can have a little look and
yeah. What's your website?
What they think for themselves.
Yes.
Wayne, is that the link you send me?
That is the link I sent you, Nathan. Yep.
Because I haven't looked at it, but I will do.
Yeah. Is that a card that you leave with the customer?
I could probably sort you out a sort of discount code that you could share as well.
Yeah. We'll chat on Messenger later, and then we'll get something put out into the groups. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you sort out your affiliate program? Did you say you was going to set one up for your boiler thing?
So for my boiler stuff, I'm toying with 2 ideas at the moment. I'm hoping to make a decision by the end of this week, early next week, to what I'm going to do. So you mentioned about the WordPress one, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah, because I've got sort of a license for that, so I can just let you have that. Which will say
cool. Well, I might just trial it then, if you don't mind. If that's all right.
Yeah, it works really well. So it's sort of the industry standard, really, for it.
Cool. Excellent.
Nice one. Oh, Etan's back. Etan's back.
Has he finished toothpicking yet?
Back. He's finishing his dessert now.
You caught that. You caught the duck in the teeth incident. I tried to move out of the way, but you got me. I was just going to say that's brilliant. That perfect review. Wayne obviously put me onto it, and I've been using the page and the link. The cards are floating around the office space somewhere, but yeah, really, really cool idea, and love it, and would love to do a kind of in-depth review and kind of get it out there and as best I can, because I love it. I think it's brilliant.
Maybe we could stick it into all of our marketing automation for our client base and do our
I've already done it, Francis. It's already in. Go check it. and I'm genuinely seeing the results. So I haven't had a Trustpilot review for ages, and I've had 2 since I've been using the link, because obviously people are seeing it on that landing page now, which is it's really fantastic. So what we'll do, Kieran, if that's all right, is we'll maybe just do a short podcast episode on it, and then we can get it out to all the groups and that, if you like.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Sounds
all right,
good.
Wicked. Sounds good.
All right, guys. And before we go, I just want to say a personal note. Today was a bit of a stressful day for me, and I had a mini blowout in my brain. And I want to apologize to my beautiful wife, Carolina, because I think that basically she does so much to help not just my business, but our clients, and putting on Wayne's World Wednesdays as well, and doing, because she's behind the scenes and everything. And I wanted to say, I love you so much. And I want to thank you for basically propping me up and also putting up with me on few bad days that sometimes happen. And thank you. Anyway.
Oh, that was so sweet. But there's a quick lesson in there as well, though, is that you've identified it quite early, and you've rectified or do you know what I mean? You've adjusted, you've shifted. So now the next time, you know, it happens, you'll just do the same, shift it nice and early. We're always going to have ups and downs. That's life. But when you notice it, nip it in the bud and get back up.
That's right. And don't linger. Don't hold a grudge and
Exactly.
don't linger because it serves no purpose.
Do we get the Rocky music now?
I was thinking, do you want to wait? Some Christmas music.
Can I just have
Come on.
Okay, it's not very good.
Go on, Bex.
I just want a Carolina. Can I have a Carolina?
Okay, well, YouTube is giving me all sorts of ads, but Wayne, why don't you see us off to next week?
I would just like to end on the beginning, basically. So I really, really would I'd love you guys watching to actually maybe go back and rewatch the first 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, listen to what I said, and more importantly, do it. You know, just on a plain bit of paper. That's all it's got to be. List out a 3-year vision, a 1-year target, break that 1-year target down into 90, 60, 30 days. But most importantly, in the 3 aspects, the body, the business, and the balance areas of life, and share it with someone, whether it's me, whether it's anyone in here, whether it's something personal that you share with your partner or whatever. But most importantly, share them targets with someone, so they know that that's what you're doing and what you're trying to achieve, and can help you along that journey. So that is all I'll have to say, I think, tonight. I think I'm done.
Thank you,
Over and out.
everybody. See you same bat channel, same bat time. Wayne's World Wednesdays next Wednesday before Christmas. Hey, good night,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys. Good night.
Let's go.
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by Off the Tools.
I really hope you enjoyed the show. I just wanted to pull it out there for anyone listening that I offer business coaching, but also life coaching. My life is centered around something called the 3 Bs, which stands for body, business, and balance. When you work with me as a coach, we tackle all 3 aspects of life. So you as an individual, body, mindset, health, fitness, knowledge, education. Business B obviously stands for your business, improving, maximizing opportunities, elevating, making more money. And balance stands for your friends, family, loved ones, making time for everything in your life. And the 3 Bs is the core element to that. If you'd like to learn more, I would ask you to reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you might be consuming my information. Or you can email me directly at wayne@offthetools.co.uk. I'm here waiting to assist you to elevate across all aspects of life. Have a good one. No excuses. Let's go.